didn't realize that they would be unpaid extras of a major blockbuster production.
There we go.
And I don't know whether we'll get residuals or not, but seeing you're not being paid at all, the residuals are going to be awfully small. One of the things I like to mention again is Jim Bach. So what I'm going to do in a while, I'm going to tear off this piece of wallpaper. Anybody that wants to take it home can have it. The only thing is that I don't know anything about oil pastels. And I don't know how you fix it. And I didn't use my finger probably enough to blur them. But anybody that wants it can have it.
Are you going to sign it?
David Suzuki will sign it.
Okay.
And I really do appreciate like everybody here today, and not just the people who are helping with the design, because you are part of this, and it's really been good. And I'm getting really kind of tired, and I was getting a little bit threatened about doing a design on my own. So we thought, well, I'd worked with Evangeline, and that would have worked out really well. And it has, because all the pieces are here. And all they have to do is be put together. But I'm going to have her do that. But before we do that, I'd like to talk again just a little bit about at shows, like a big part of the shows in the States. And we have a friend, Lew Wallace, who grows glads by the, tens of thousands. But he's been a designer since he was about 6 years old. And he says, Reg, he says, no one can expect to do what I do after 52 years. He does not realize how good a teacher he is. He taught Ken, believe it or not, how to make a design on a nail. Ken, where is that fancy piece of equipment? Okay. And this really lends itself to, number one, this is just not normal board. It's heavy. And it's designed in such a way that the weight distribution is downwards. And you put a block of Oasis on top. And then the advantage of that is you can go in that Oasis all angles, from the top as well as the bottom, and you can make like her whole grass curved, no problem. And I'll say this about Lew, as I say, he is an excellent teacher. He is the kind of guy that you should have up in front. But he says, he worries about, the no one being as good as him after, that one. I believe though that he's such a good teacher that and a teacher who is good, my students were better than me, I hope. In the end, a lot of them were a lot better than me in terms of academics. A lot better. And I'm proud of that. It's just that they had a little bit more ability to start with. And I think in NAGC we have a number of good teachers who are not being taken advantage of. They've been trained by Jim. And the idea in Branson is that those people would be able to go back to their societies and teach, and people wouldn't have to spend $2,000 to come to a convention. And I just think it's, I'm not sure. We may edit this out after. I think it's a real shame that, that knowledge isn't being passed on.
Do you want me to show you how to put the Oasis on there?
Okay, Ken's going to demonstrate how to put the...
No, you can keep talking and I'll give it back to you.
Okay, that's a good deal. Now, in the U.S., interpretive design is so important at their shows. And so, again, they'll have Minnesota Wilderness or whatever, and you'll see, constructions. I call them construction because they're just huge. They're not all like that, but they're all good. And it's because those society members come and show. What I suggest is if you go home and you've still got your bowl, that you can consider coming and showing at the show. It doesn't matter if you know what? Would it ever be spectacular if one of you came to the show and had a third place ribbon? Maybe the first time. And I know there's sometimes that people, we want designers there. It adds to the show. Okay? Now, what I'm going to do, say interpretive design is different, and this is supposed to be sort of a judging course, and it's not that. It's not that. I'm not going to talk about judging. I'm not going to talk about judging design. The one thing I will say is that some of the things that we learned today, the principles of design, what do the judges look for? They look for the same things we talked about. Is there space in an arrangement? Is there distribution of weight? Now, love the arrangements that were done. Marilyn's, I told her to do, 2 different sides. And I think that turned out really well. Turned out especially well because if you look at the purple side especially, you see the white at the back, and it looks really quite nice.